Did you know that AI chips could add over 15 trillion to the global economy by 2030? Now imagine if the US government suddenly started taking a cut every time one of these chips was sold abroad. That's exactly what's happening right now with Trump's new deal on Nvidia and AMD exports to China. Is this a smart move or a dangerous precedent? So here's the story. In August 2025, President Trump struck a deal that's got everyone talking. For the first time ever, the United States government is taking a 50% slice of revenue from Nvidia and AMD's sales of search and AI chips to China. These chips, Nvidia's H20 and AMD's MI308, were previously banned because of national security concerns, but now they can be exported if the government gets its share. Why does this matter? Well, if you are a tech enthusiast, this could reshape how innovative flows globally. And if you are an investor, this might signal huge opportunities or massive risks in the semiconductor space. Either way, this is one of the boldest, most controversial trade decisions we've seen in years. Let's rewind for a second. Nvidia and AMD are at the center of the AI revolution. Their chips power everything from ChatGPT to self-driving cars. But there is one problem. China is the world's second largest market for AI hardware. In late 2022 and 2023, US regulators banned the export of advanced AI chips like Nvidia's A100, H100, and more recently, the Blackwell series. The reason? National security. Washington feared that China could use these chips for military AI, surveillance, and advanced cyber capabilities. This left Nvidia and AMD stock. On one hand, they had products ready to sell. On the other, they couldn't touch a market worth billions of dollars. Nvidia even designed downgraded chips like the H20 to meet export restrictions, but even those got caught in the crossfire. So the challenge was clear. How do we allow companies to compete globally without compromising national security? And how do you keep innovation alive while protecting strategic interests? Enter Trump's deal. After months of negotiations, he agreed to let Nvidia and AMD ship these limited performance chips to China. But here's the twist. In exchange, 50% of the revenue goes straight to the US Treasury. Originally, Trump wanted 20%, but Nvidia CEO pushed back, saying that would make the chip too expensive and hard competitiveness. The compromise, 15%. Now let's talk numbers. Analysts estimate that this could generate 2 to 3 billion dollars in revenue for the United States government just from Nvidia alone. For Nvidia and AMD, the math is simple. 85% of something is better than 100% of nothing. The stock market reacted quickly. Nvidia and AMD shares jumped within hours of the announcement as investors saw China reopening as a massive win. On the flip side, critics say this is essentially a pay-to-play tax, a dangerous precedent where the government monetizes export restrictions. And there is a legal question too. The United States Constitution explicitly bans export taxes, so experts argue this could be challenged in court as unconstitutional. In other words, this deal might not even be legal. But beyond the legality, the bigger picture is what this means for global tech. Does this move strengthen America's leverage, or does it open the door for more risky compromises with China? The real climax came when Trump announced this deal publicly, almost instantly. Nvidia's stock rose by nearly 4% in a single day, adding billions to its market cap. AMD saw a similar boost. Investors loved it. Wall Street analysts called it a clever workaround. and even suggested other industries might see similar models in the future. Imagine a world where the US government takes a cut from every export in sensitive industries, chips, biotech, maybe even green tech. But not everyone was celebrating. National security experts warned that once you open the door, it's hard to close it. They argued that China, even with downgraded chips, could still gain valuable ground in AI development. And policy critics say this sets a slippery slope. If companies can pay their way around restrictions, then what's the point of a restrictions at all? So to recap, Trump's deal allows Nvidia and AMD to sell certain AI chips to China again, but only if they hand over 50% of the revenue to the US government. It's potentially worth billions, great for investors, and opens up the Chinese market again. But it also raises major concerns about national security, about legality, and about whether the United States is turning trade policy into a toll road. In the long term, this could either reshape US-China tech relations or backfire, leaving the US exposed while China still benefits. So, what do you think? Is Trump's 50% Nvidia deal a smart way to protect US interests while boosting revenue? Or is it a dangerous precedent that could hurt America in the long run? Drop your thought in the comments. I'd love to hear you take, and don't forget to check out my next video.